Oh, there we go. Hey, everybody.
Hey,
How's it going?
it's going. I've got microwaved chicken tenders.
Wow.
If anyone is
It's
curious.
they have no hot sauce on them tonight. They're just
They're just
they're just
subpar chicken tenders that I bought at the grocery store and discovered the first time I ate them. I put them in the oven, and I was like, "These are not great. These are not great."
well,
And then one day I just put one in the microwave and it was better in the microwave. And I had a huge lunch, so I meant to eat like a little something before the stream,
mhm.
but I forgot, so I'm eating them now.
Yeah, I almost forgot that today was stream day. Something recently is just throwing up my whole day. What day is it? Progress off. And I'm like, it's Sunday already. I didn't even realize it. But I think that a lot of that is because my wife took Friday off of work, so one of her coworkers has like a pool and said, you can bring your kids over and use the pool all day if you want. So we just like spent the whole day swimming in the pool on Friday, and I think that just threw everything off. It almost, because it was on Friday, it felt like Saturday. But yeah, so everything has just felt weird. But other than that, you've been focusing very hard on as we call it AF2.
AF2.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Final Fantasy 11 speak, that's getting your second artifact armor.
In AF2.
Yeah, you get your AF2. Yeah, it's like
I see.
the AF1 is like the armor for the job that looks kind of like Final Fantasy 1 or 5 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And AF2 is like maybe a little fancier version. But no, Analog Frontiers 2, part 2.
Right.
Yeah, I really got my focus back this week, and it's been good, and I've made very satisfying progress.
Excellent.
And so, within the next couple of weeks, right, y'all should see that. I'm feeling good and confident about the progress I'm making.
Good. And I have an episode coming. I'm hoping for Wednesday.
You were hoping for mid this week.
I was hoping for mid the week before that. I guess I've been kind of quiet on what it's gonna be, but I guess I'm just gonna, since it's been so long, I think it's okay for me to say what it is, because it's not out yet. It is a video on the Sharp Scale plugin for the PlayStation TV, which is,
and it works on the Vita as well, right?
Yes, but I mean not the same way. I mean it does work the same way, but it's I mean, it only affects certain games on the Vita system. And in my opinion, it is a complete game changer for the system, and it takes it from what's generally kind of a piece of crap, honestly.
Yeah.
And it turns it into an awesome system. So, yeah, that is what the video is going to be on. If you have a PlayStation TV and you have not hacked it, this makes it very much worth hacking, and it is completely reinvigorated my interest in playing Vita and PSP games on a TV. In my opinion, it is the best way to play PSP games on a TV. You got to turn off the autofocus on your camera.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let's see.
See if it. I had to turn mine off. But yeah, it is a big deal, and it looks really, really good. So, it's a video that I thought was going to be quick, and it's turned into, I guess, something a little bit bigger. I mean, it's still only going to be like 20 20-some minutes, like low
Mhm.
20s probably. Right now, I just have to do the PS1 classic section to finish it up, and like it's about 17 minutes at this point. And I mean that's there's a lot to say about PS1 classics, but it is there's not a lot that hasn't already been said in RGB 206.
Yeah, and I saw Vanessaria say that getting a PSTV is on her list, and I saw someone reply saying that you should get one now because they'll go up in price after the video. I'm not going to be so conceited as to say that I believe that it might actually that our video would have an impact specifically, but uh, eh, they already are like kind of expensive, right? So
Yeah, I mean they've been pretty thoroughly hacked. I think right now probably the most disappointing thing is that there's no way currently to remove the HDCP protection on it. So if you want to capture footage from it, you have to have some sort of way to strip the HDCP or circumvent it in some way.
mhm.
And I was asking about it, and the person who is created the Sharp Scale hack said that people have been working on it for a while and no one has been able to figure it out yet. So hopefully it does happen, but still,
He didn't sound optimistic.
yes, exactly. But I think that it's going to be a big deal.
You know what I did, not necessarily to capture anything, but I did discover I hooked up a PS3 to a HDMI to um an HDMI to VGA, which I mostly did that to connect to a VGA monitor.
Mhm.
But I imagine you could also just plug that into the OSSC and redigitize it. And obviously it'd be digital to analog to digital, but
Right.
you could capture it possibly that way if you have an OSSC already, and those they're super cheap. And
Right.
by the way, we're behind. Vanessa area
Had
gave
a
a
yes.
donation before the stream began with a hard MLiG. Thank you. And I see James Ingram with $1.99.
Asking if
Is that big PS5 behind you?
yeah, I mean people have released those to scale images. It shows how it compares. And actually the PS5 when I got back there is actually much bigger than it looks in those images.
Yeah, that's true size.
What people don't realize is actually the PS5 is about the size of a roll-around dehumidifier.
How about that? I've heard people say it looks like the router that you would have gotten from your cable company
Yeah, I
in
can
like
see that.
2005. Back when everything was like white because of Apple.
Right. Yeah. So I guess I'll get to the game tonight. I'm gonna be playing Huntdown, on the Nintendo Switch. This was something
who was it that gave us this code?
Well, hang on. This was something that was recommended to me by the same person who recommended what is it? Was it Devil Trigger or
Devil Engine?
Devil Engine. That's right. Yes. Said that you should check out Huntdown. It just came out on the on digital stores, and if you liked Devil Engine, you should check out this. And they're very different kinds of games, but he said that this is would be right up my alley. So I had thought about getting it at one point, and then last week, I think it was last Sunday, we got an email from one of the people who worked on it, or maybe like the main person who worked on it, and said, "Do you want to check it out? I can send you a code over if you want." And I said, "We were just thinking about streaming this." And then he sent it over, and now I'm going to play it. So
nice.
So here we go. I'm going to turn up the volume on my end a little bit, though, so I can hear the music.
Oh, wow. $2 from Jonathan G. He says, playing FF7 Remake on Vita via remote play is boss. I bet it's also laggy, but, maybe it is kind of playable. It's been a long time since I did remote play. Like, honestly, I don't remember if I ever even tried remote play locally. I probably did once, but like I actually, just for the novelty of it, like did remote play a couple of times, like over the internet when I was at my parents' house.
So who am I going to be? I'm going to be Anaconda, John Sawyer, or Mo-Man. I feel like I want to start with Anaconda because I think that's an awesome name. Let's try awesome main gun. Oh, okay. You can try their main gun. Okay, so she's got
this game has like a superbly 80s aesthetic.
Yes, and also
like
the trailer for it is very good.
Yes, the trailer's hilarious.
It's very funny voiceover. So okay, Milo's saying Sawyer for the voice. Okay, it's got the Sylvester Stallone and Cobra gun with like or it's actually more of a Terminator. Like Terminator had like the gun with the laser sight on it, big laser sight. All right, I guess we'll do John Sawyer based on what Milo in the chat is saying. Oh. I hit the wrong button. Here we go. It's killing time. He's got this jaw protector on it.
Or maybe that is his jaw.
Maybe. It looked like he has a bottom jaw. Bottom jaw, though.
You know, maybe it's so that he can bite down harder.
Okay, so it looks like there's 4 levels to start, but I can only choose the first one. Against the hoodlum dolls.
Apparently no sound.
Oh, okay. Good. Are people hearing that now? If that's not working, I'll just do this.
I had a feeling you'd say that. A mother.
Let me know if you hear it now.
The Huntdown is initiated.
Did you hear that as it was before?
Is an urgent one.
No audio still?
Riot, a gang known as the Hoodlum
Okay.
Dolls. There we go.
Yeah, I'm just doing it through the mixer. It does not work through the.
It's not working on OBS.
It's just I don't know why.
Apparently, he goes by the name.
It's showing levels and everything.
Additionally, the area you'll be headed to has a few minor bounties that are open to your discretion. I'll transfer you those that are
hopefully people can hear it. I mean, hopefully it's loud enough. My voice is loud enough over top of it. Let me know if it's too loud or if it's too quiet.
The Hoodlum dolls are unpredictable.
I'm playing with the Super Nintendo controller.
Oh, really?
Hunt down this Troy lawman and make mother proud.
Did you verify that it will work just fine?
Yes.
All the way home.
There you go. So if you run and you press down, you'll like do like a little slide, so you can slide behind cover.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Paul Birdcamp thinks it looks like my floor got waxed. Looks smooth. That's just the lighting being weird, I guess.
Look at that mech in the background. That's awesome.
My carpet is crummy. it is not held up particularly well.
Leave me alone, buddy. Jump down.
Builder grade carpet, they say.
Stash collected.
Ooh, I collected 1 stash.
One stash.
Has anybody in the chat finished this? How long is it, if so? Ooh, a boomerang. I know. That's exactly what I said. Why I was interested is because it looks like Terminator.
You know, Steve, you would not believe how many comments people have put on our Trials of Mana video, maybe also on the Final Fantasy VII video, commenting on the Retrotech sticker on my 20L5. People were like, "Ooh, how's that Retrotech PVM doing for you?" I'm like, "Well, I already had it. He just helped me with the geometry a little bit."
So how long?
We would like to recap it one day, though.
So how long to be
I
the same?
I noticed a little buzzing coming from it today, but it seems to work fine.
Oh, this looks like the gun from RoboCop. Oh no, it's more of an Aliens meets RoboCop gun. Oh, you can save your sub weapons. Excellent. Awesome. So I can carry it with me without using it. Perfect.
That cover system kind of makes me think of, I haven't played very much of it, but isn't there a similar system in Blackthorn?
Not where you slide like that.
No, but like where you're taking
in the
cover
background,
in the background.
Yes. Oh, here he is. Sweet angel.
With sufficient thrust, pigs fly just
Christopher Hugh in the chat was just about to say the same thing.
What?
That made him think of Blackthorn.
Yeah, utilize my dash a little bit.
See, Orion's Angel in the chat saying that transparent glass effect we just saw reminds us this is not an old school game that will have never been seen back in the day. I'm not sure exactly which transparent glass effect you're talking about, but I mean, obviously you could do transparency on Super Nintendo or PlayStation with 2D, but like Genesis and Saturn, you wouldn't be likely to see that. PlayStation can do transparency, right? Yeah. But like that's something I think about a lot these days is, you know, pixel graphics and retro aesthetics in modern games that are, you know, varying levels of authentic. And
Right.
sometimes I just have mixed feelings about it. And I don't really know what sort of triggers me to feel one way or the other about it. But sometimes I look at like a retro inspired game and I'm like, I'd rather just play an actual game from the era, you know, than something that's pretending to be. But other times I look at it and I'm like, that's awesome. So I don't really know what I'm looking for sometimes. But certainly when it looks authentic to, or it feels like maybe just barely above what a real system could have done, then, you know, that's pretty cool. You know, you look at something like Mega Man 9, I think is, you know, kind of a gold standard there. Like it definitely does things the NES couldn't do. Like it does like smooth fades to black. And there's you know, I think the way some of the level obstacles move might have not really been something you would have seen likely seen on NES, but it's still very, very close.
Pop goes the weasel.
And something like Blazing Chrome, you know, definitely more than the Genesis could do, but it feels very faithful to the aesthetic.
Exactly.
You know, same with Shovel Knight to an extent. Like it's pretty faithful to NES, except for the fact that it does a lot of parallax. But it's faithful to the color palette, the way that sprites would have been designed largely, except with more animation. Saw someone asking if there will be a PS2 classic, since the PS2 is going to be 20 years old.
That's messed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably not for a while. I mean,
who knows?
I'm almost wondering if they're over it after their success.
Oh yeah, I think. You know, I didn't realize we were kind of group watching the Sony event with John and Audie, and John pointed out that the guy that's in charge of Sony now is the same guy who made some comment several years ago about like, oh, why do people want to play? People don't want to play old games anyway. Like, why would anyone want to play old games?
Yeah, and that's disheartening.
I was talking to a friend earlier today. You know, saying that I've got a lot more confidence in what Microsoft will do regarding backwards compatibility. Like, Sony hasn't talked about it much. And like Mark Cerny's comment about we looked at, the 100 most popular PS4 games, and we're confident that all of them will be playable at launch. Like, that's actually not the most confidence I've ever heard. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be disappointing if it's.
I mean, I think I'm relatively confident that PS4 backwards compatibility will be pretty high on it, but I'm less confident that they're going to like try to use the backwards compatibility to enhance the games, which I'm pretty sure Microsoft will continue to do. They spent this generation building up a lot of sort of goodwill and building up their system, their sort of their back-end systems in that way. I think is going to benefit them this generation.
Right.
And Sony didn't really have the pressure to do that. It would be nice if you could play PS1, PS2, PS3 on the PS5, but I severely doubt it. Well, we got 279 Canadian bucks from Ekaphalos. Best way of using the Game Boy player on GameCube in 2020. Check out the Game Boy episode if you haven't already. And there might also be some, I think there's some Game Boy player stuff in the GameCube updates video that came out at the end of 2018. Although the GBI versions in those videos are out of date, but the same basic principles apply. The GBI high fidelity, if you have the means to use it, the OSSC even has a scaling mode just for that. And I think it's been a while since I tested, but I think GBI high fidelity works pretty well with like Carby or other HDMI solutions. I mean, you can do some pretty great things with the Game Boy interface. We got 999 for Joshua Helmicky going, Pooty!
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 Get over here, Pooty! What are you doing?
I nearly forgot about that during the intervening week, except like on Monday, like I kept just saying to myself randomly, like,
You just say it out loud.
Pooty!
You just say it out loud.
Yeah, I was saying it out loud. I might even say it to Sandy.
Pooty!
Pooty!
Come here! Get over here, Pooty! I know, we always try to say it really quietly because we're afraid, like, the neighbor, who's like, there's no way that he's gonna hear me. But I'm always afraid that he's gonna hear me say it. Or I try not to say it too obviously with my kids around because they like to repeat it.
Yeah.
We don't want it to be, oh, these dogs are after me.
That was rough.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Final Fantasy VII Remake and a bunch of other games, I am hopeful we'll get PS5 patches, but I don't think that's really going to be backwards compatibility. I think that's going to be basically a patch that makes it a PS5 that you are allowed to install to your system if you have the game. But I think it'll fundamentally be a PS5 executable. That's my feeling. And I think the same thing will happen to some extent on Xbox, but I think there will be more instances of Xbox games. I think there will be more instances of Xbox games being enhanced without like a true patch per se. You know, if you think about if you think about like you know, the Final Fantasy 13 games or Mirror's Edge or Red Dead Redemption and several other games, like those are natively 4K on Xbox One X with no editing to the game code. I hope we'll see even more 360 games and original Xbox games get backwards compatible when the Series X launches.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we should just talk about our thoughts of the reveal just in general. I mean,
like of the PS5.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm excited. I think the only time I was like really excited was like with Ratchet and Clank, though.
Same. Like that was like legit next gen, you know?
Yeah, and well, not only that, but it's just like cool to see finally a sequel that is like a full game. Because, I mean, sure there was Into the Nexus, which was only like a couple hours long.
Right.
But it's nice to see finally.
And then the remake, you know.
Well, yeah, but
good.
I mean, like, which was good, yes, but it was still just like a remake of the first one.
Yeah. We got $5 from Chris saying, "Sup guys? So did you see it? Sony's making a Wi-Fi router without needing visible antennas." I mean, I do gotta say
I'm annoyed by the size of it for sure.
It's stupidly huge, but I will say that the aesthetic is growing on me. It's weird, but it is elegant, I guess. People are saying that the disk drive looks tacked on, but I don't know if that's necessarily true. I mean, I think when you actually see it from angles, I think it'll have like a nice curve to it.
Yeah.
What I'm curious about, like I don't think I'm going to put it horizontal. I was originally hoping that whatever the design would be something I could put horizontal because I thought it would be difficult to fit the Xbox Series X and the PS5 next to each other. But I think I've got room to put them both vertical. But I was kind of wondering.
This guy is like definitely a take on the Macho Man.
I noticed that when it's horizontal, the disc is on the bottom. Like the disk drive is on the bottom of the console, which makes me wonder, is it upside down? Like, do you put the disc in upside down?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, maybe the drive is just in there upside down. So you put them right side up, they just...
Or maybe it's just a really thin profile disc. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But think about this. If it's vertical, normally you would put the top end to the right. And if it's vertical... It's either going to be the opposite way of the Xbox Series X and the Wii and the Wii U and other systems that can go vertical. It's either going to be the opposite of that or it's going to be upside down when, like, it's got to be one or the other. I don't know. I think it's going to be upside down or flipped in the wrong way in some fashion. But I think it, I mean, obviously they were trying to be artistic with it. It's weird. I mean, definitely if you consider the Switch part of the same generation that these systems will be, which is it's hard to say whether that really makes sense or not, but certainly this is the generation that has had the least standard looking designs. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. We got $1.99 from Elizabeth Smith saying you should play Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles on 5 GameCubes for a stream. I did years and years ago, like, probably like close to 10 years ago.
Oh, right. That was like your second stream, I feel like. Or the second marathon you did.
Well, hold on a second. No, that wasn't Crystal Chronicles. We did do a Crystal Chronicles. But I can't remember if anyone was on a GameCube during Crystal Chronicles. But we also did we did 4-player Four Swords Adventures. And one of them was on a GameCube on a smaller TV.
Oh, look at so the movie posters. Can you guess what those movie posters are? I know exactly what they are.
Bright Future, Doomed Fire. Oh, the posters.
The movie posters. Right?
Okay, one is The Thing.
Yeah, one is The Thing. The middle one is Akira, and the left one is Aliens.
Ah, okay.
Like I knew exactly what they were.
You know what I was thinking about earlier today? That is kind of weird to think about. Like, I picked up some lunch at a place that's next to the movie theater. I was thinking about like how weird is it that like the Sonic the Hedgehog movie poster is just like
Still there.
Yeah.
I mean,
like there might be some movie theaters that never reopen, and like they're just like
the last thing is gonna be
if they're abandoned, they're just gonna have like Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah.
Sitting in there like indefinitely, forever until the building's torn down. Like.
So here I see really quick. I really hear these ones. I see. Is this gotta be Bloodsport over here? That one's gotta be. This one's Running Man. I see Alien back there, and the Joker's is the Warriors.
Yeah, I can tell that. I've never seen the Warriors, but I can tell.
It's really really good. It seems like the kind of I bet you would really like it. I've been exploring abandoned movie theaters, indeed.
You'd be into making a video series like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, be kind of creepy.
When you were first moving to the area that you're in now, before you moved to your new house, wasn't there an abandoned movie theater that you're like, man, if I had money, like I'd buy that and make it an art.
Oh yeah. I mean, in the next town over, and it is a movie theater that had not been open for a really long time. And you were talking about Sonic, the Sonic poster being in the window, and this one hadn't been open in so long that the last movie it showed that was still had the poster in it was U.S. Marshals.
When was that? It's like Tommy Lee Jones, right?
Yeah. It's like the kind of spin-off from The Fugitive.
And again.
Really?
Yeah. He's
Oh,
the same
I
character.
didn't know it was connected. Huh.
Yeah, he's the same character. The first like 10 minutes of that movie is the best part, where he's like undercover inside of a chicken suit.
You know what's always annoyed me? You know that that movie theater near my place that has the recliners.
Right.
Like, it's been open ever since whenever it was that Star Wars Episode 7 came out. Like, it opened up that month, but it had been closed for years. And then, like, a new company bought it after years. I mean, probably close to a decade. And they, you know, now it has like recliners in it. But ever since they reopened, they have never put movie posters outside. And it's just
Interesting.
baffling to me. Like, they've got the spots for them that were there from the previous theater that was there, but they've just left them empty. Like, it makes it look like they're closed. Like, I've always kind of been worried about them because, like, it never really seemed to be that well attended at the theater. You know, obviously,
Yeah,
the
I mean,
previous one
they're
closed
not
down.
doing
Like,
anything to advertise themselves, I guess.
yeah, I thought it was a bad look for a theater that clearly needed a little help.
Right.
Wow, was The Force Awakens really 2015? Jeez. I can't believe it was that long ago. Yeah, so that was it was like the week before that came out that this theater finally opened.
Where's the
Oh,
second?
Jonathan Henson donated $3. Thank you. Asking, is that SNES controller holding up? Feeling any lag?
I think it feels pretty good.
I mean, technically, there's got to be lag, but I haven't had any problems with it. Does this game have... This game doesn't look like it's got angled aiming.
No.
So, hard to tell if the diagonals are going good, but I've not had trouble with diagonals on it. I haven't used it like super extensively yet, but I'm pretty sure I played Blazing Chrome with it.
Yeah, I think I did too, didn't I?
I don't remember. I don't think that the M30 had like the right button.
The voices are pretty good in this, though, just overall. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get you. It's got a little bit of Yoda in it, but not.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
I'm gonna get you.
You sound like one of my high school friends trying to do a Barney Gumble impression. He was always going, hey Homer, I'm really worried about the beer supply. After this case and the next case, there's only one case left. I felt like I started that off pretty good, then I lost it. My friend was really good at it.
His laugh in some aspects almost sounds like Sloth from the Goonies. It's like where he goes, he's like
Worst game from your favorite developer? I'd have to think about what my favorite developer is first. I mean, I guess Nintendo. Let's not kid ourselves.
Oh. Look at him.
I mean, maybe Yoshi's Story. I mean, those aren't Devil's Third and Yoshi's New Island. Like, those aren't Nintendo developed.
Yeah.
Yoshi's Story, though.
There he is. There's Troy Lawman. I mean, I don't even know. I feel like I gotta come up with something without being on the spot. I'm very good at coming up with like stuff like that.
I
on the
mean,
spot.
like Square Enix is definitely up there for me. Like, especially old Square and old Square Enix.
Yeah.
But they've made plenty of not great games. Nintendo. I like to think Nintendo's in-house rarely makes a bad game. I mean, some people maybe would think Star Fox Zero, which was kind of.
I'd like to I really kind of want to revisit that. I've thought
didn't
about
think
it.
so. It was not bad. It was not bad.
I mean, I was thinking about it recently because my kids are playing Nintendo Land a lot lately.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this Metroid game in Nintendo Land where they can both play on the same team. One person uses the GameCube, and the other person is controlling Samus on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
One of them's like her ship, and the other one's is on the ground.
I don't even remember that.
And they're like really into it. And I'm trying to think of like other games where they can play co-op like that, because I think it's just good where it's easy enough for them to play co-op where they don't get into a fight about it.
Yeah. Other M was Team Ninja, and I thought Other M was a very good game. Like, I know that, like, sort of the story aspects and Samus's characterization was the main things people hated about it, I think.
Yeah.
But, like, from a gameplay perspective, I actually thought it was really fun. I actually almost, like, after finishing it, I almost, like, immediately restarted on hard mode to go for, 100% completion. And Paper Mario Sticker Star, again, that was Intelligent Systems, which, I still don't think I would really call that internal Nintendo. It kind of is, but like they're still kind of a separate thing. But yeah, Sticker Star, not great. I liked the concept behind it. I liked.
Did you beat it?
Yeah, that was the 3DS one. I've still never bought Color Splash.
You better get that if you're gonna get it, or don't you really care?
I mean, I do want to get it, but I was like holding out for it going on clearance on Target, and I never saw that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet it probably used copy is probably not that bad. I mean, I don't know. I kind of want it, but I don't know. I liked the idea behind Sticker Star, but in practice, it just didn't work because there was no incentive to fight ever. And also because bosses usually required you to come into the fight with something to beat them. And there was no warning as to what that would be. And then sometimes you might just get into the fight and not have what you need. And it's like, oh, well, I'm stuck.
I didn't realize that it was that easy just to get completely stuck.
Yeah, I mean, if I recall, like, I don't think you could even just, like, run away from the fight. Maybe you could. But then you've, like, ventured up to the boss, and you have to go back and find what you need to beat them.
Yeah.
It's, like, super annoying.
Are you planning on getting the new one?
Yeah, probably. I'm sure. I mean, it looks different. I only watched the trailer one time, but I'm sure it's different.
Yeah, it seems like they're. I mean, from what I've heard, they're kind of going back and doing exactly what people have wanted them to do, which is make something that's like the first two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know why it's been that difficult to do that up until now. But I mean, the same thing happened with Kirby, where they wanted people to. People wanted them to make something that was just a traditional Kirby game, and they kept on just making all these weird games that were decent, but they weren't the same, like what people really wanted from it. And then
Canvas
they go back
Curse
and
was really good though.
What was?
Canvas Curse.
Right. I'm not saying like they were bad, but I mean, people wanted a traditional Kirby game for the longest
The
time.
thing was like there was a very long period though where they weren't really developed by HAL like Canvas Curse was, but then like otherwise like I think all of the GBA and DS games were developed by Capcom's flagship. They weren't great. Oh yeah, Wii Music. I never played that, but I bet it is not great. Did you say you have it?
Yeah, I got it as a Goodwill find.
Yeah, you should see if your kids like it. They probably love it.
They might.
I mean, that's what it's made for.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing with Wii Music is it's just like
Epic Yarn is also very good.
Yeah, Epic Yarn is good. You know, a lot of people don't like it, but I did. I mean, yes, it is very easy to not die, but I feel like the true gameplay of that game is the exploration aspect. I don't think it's really about, you know, the platforming so much. It's about trying to find everything. And I thought that was fun.
Just a little sip.
Paper Mario Color Splash was a Wii U Paper Mario game that, as far as I could tell, appeared to be gameplay-wise very similar to Sticker Star.
The voices are definitely amazing in this. They're so over the top. Got them.
Oh, hey, you Pikachu. I did hear that was not good. I've never played it.
That's the microphone one, right?
Yeah.
It was like they're trying to go for something like Seaman. Was that before or after Seaman, I wonder?
I don't know.
It appears you haven't lost your edge.
I got not long ago. I got Lifeline for the PS2. That game has always intrigued me. To be honest, I'm not even 100% sure if I have what I need to play it. I do have like an old USB Logitech headset that was compatible with PS2. I assume I can use that if it still works. If I can find it. I think I can find it. I think I know where it is. I bet the foam around the headphones has gone away.
Local law enforcement does not have the interest to
Well,
but
my camera is like way too bright right now.
well, you haven't really set your lights, have you?
I turned on my lights.
Oh, I thought you. I mean, you don't have them set like you don't have like the blue background, the cool blue background you normally have.
That's true. But I don't know if I turn that on, if it would make it like less bright back there.
Use this
Let me try it.
to make a statement to them all.
Let's put this situation in the penalty.
So was that only one level that you did?
It was one area, yes. So I think there's 4 of them.
Wow. So this is They're actually kind of big.
I mean, someone was saying it's supposed to be like 4.5 hours long. Let's see if this helps it out. There we go. There we go. If I brighten up the background a little bit, it makes me less washed out. There we go. Better? That looks better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have mine on
Some misconduct.
manual exposure.
The subway is closed.
Has a very green rug back.
It's like a yoga mat.
Kill 'em all.
Ah.
So it's like foam. That looks better.
I'd love to hear something about the analog pocket soon.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything.
Engage.
I can tell you though, I got
A lot of paperwork.
an IPS screen in the mail this week. I think I mentioned last week that I ordered them.
Oh, right, right.
I got an IPS screen for the Game Boy. Haven't done anything with it yet though.
Come here.
Tired of this job.
Planning to go to my parents' house after finishing Analog Frontiers Part 2. And I'm gonna send Sandy over there ahead of time
So you can finish it up.
so I can completely focus on finishing it up when I'm like confident it's gonna be like less than a week away. And there's an extra Game Boy at my parents' house that
Oh, okay.
is not in as good of shape. So I was planning to take the motherboard out of that one
Mm-hmm.
and use that as the basis for, because I also got a
You gotta head for business.
reproduction shell. I don't really know what to expect in terms of like how good that will be, but I thought I would at least try it.
Yeah.
I thought I'd at least try it, and so that I wouldn't have to cut into a real case.
Right.
Because
Well,
originally, like years ago, like right after finishing the Game Boy RGB episode, I bought a clear DMG, which because I didn't want to mod like my, original looking gray one. So I got a clear DMG that I wanted to get a backlight mod put in there. I just never got around to making that happen. And now there's these IPS screens, and I'm pretty sure I would probably be happier with that than a backlight mod. So we'll see. I hadn't really thought about. I mean, so anyway, yeah, I was gonna have my parents bring that over when they come to pick up Sandy, because I did want to use that in Analog Frontiers.
I got juggled down the pit.
So I will be able to include it in that very, very briefly.
Witness the power.
I love that you can use the hockey stick as a weapon. Yeah, I'd like to do like the IPS. I have a green one. It's like a green Game Boy. It's like not see-through. It's just normally like one of the ones that they sold, one of the green ones. And it doesn't work very well.
If you mess with the tiger,
What do you mean it doesn't work very well?
I mean, the screen just doesn't look very good. And
Oh. But it works.
it works, yes.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to put it on.
you're dead.
Stash collected.
Jeez. It's definitely a little bit tougher now. You don't keep your keep the case, the secret stash.
See, Power Man says he's working on a video about Final Fantasy VII Remake, and the people who hate the game are extremely annoying. Hopefully, we aren't lumped into that, because I think it depends on your perspective of the game, because I think we were very balanced in our analysis of it.
Right.
You know, I think for the most part we liked it. We did not care for the ending, but for the most part we liked it. But you know, some people, you know, thought either we were too picky, or you know, maybe some people, you know, thought we should have hated it more.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you know, something that was very interesting to me about the comments on that video, like, there's this Easy Allies podcast about it.
yes.
And everyone flings that around. Like, if you are like way into the ending and liked what happened, like you use the Easy Allies podcast as your Bible, and you know, tell people, watch this, and you will understand.
Right.
And it's like, I understand what the argument is. It could potentially go somewhere in the sequels that I will like, but as of right now, I don't like what happens in this. But maybe I shouldn't be talking about that kind of stuff, because, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, we shouldn't, you know, I shouldn't risk getting into spoiler territory here.
I feel like if I get this guy to blow up this thing, it's flashing in a way that makes me think that I don't think I can pick him up. But... Oh, okay, there's a machine gun in there.
But yeah, there's this prevailing attitude, I think, among a lot of people who, you know, unequivocally love the ending, that, like if you don't agree with the Easy Allies, you just don't get it.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of I watched some of it. But I mean, there's certain aspects. I think as time is, he has is just his bunker.
As time has gone on, I've kind of
You've come around to a little bit, like you maybe.
I felt easier going on it, maybe.
Yeah.
But I still don't love what happened. But I mean, there's potential to win me over still. But overall, like, I mostly enjoy what the game gave us, which was a new look at familiar, I thought the visual reimagining of the events was, for the most part, very, very entertaining.
Right.
And the music, I mean, is the best thing that game has given us, I think.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say that they were lukewarm on it, and then by playing through the game on hard, it changed their opinion, because then they notice all the like the subtle nods that happen throughout the game. But like, it still doesn't change the fact that if you don't like what happens at the end,
yeah,
just because they telegraph it earlier than you realized.
Yeah,
I
think there's
change.
Also this attitude that it's clever, therefore it's good.
Yeah.
But anyway, probably getting too close to spoiler territory. I saw we got a $1 from Warren Hokie, who did not attach a question to it, but earlier asked, what is Sandy's favorite video game? And I'd say it'd be between Kirby Star Allies, Grim Fandango, and the Wii System Maker. She went absolutely nuts over Grim Fandango. I think a lot of it was the fact that the backgrounds are static. and so when you see the characters moving around it, like it's just the movement is very clear, I guess, to a dog's eyes because that background isn't moving with it. She also likes the idle camera in Final Fantasy 14, where it just like every few seconds it like fades between like characters that are standing nearby you and like has different angles. She's very interested in those views. But she likes the Wii system menu because it has like, you like flip between the pages and it does this horizontal movement that she likes to like chase after. She also likes the pointer. Anytime that she hears the Wii like system menu come on, you know, you've got that kind of little sort of ringing sound that it makes when it comes on. She comes running. She loves
come on.
Wii.
Okay. I thought I was gonna. I killed him and it wouldn't let me duck back into the door, and I thought it was gonna make me do it again.
But like, there's maybe someone in the chat can find it. There was an old video that I tweeted when she was only like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months old. The day that Kirby Star Allies came out, she loved the title screen on that. She loved the title screen.
I still gotta get that.
I want to replay it because I've heard that it's a lot better after like all the added content. 'Cause it was surprisingly short.
Yeah, I'm realizing there's a lot of Switch stuff that I've not gotten. Like, did you get like Fire Emblem yet?
Yeah, I did. Just because, you know, I had the Best Buy Gamers Club and, you know, it's not going to go down in price or nothing. And I'm still debating whether I want to play Fire Emblem Echoes on 3DS first. Last summer I played, I finally played Fire Emblem Fates, which was fun, but it had a garbage story, but it was fun. Part of me also kind of wants to play Fire Emblem Warriors before I play Three Houses, because I finally, like, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago, finally finished, like, after probably over a year having started it, I finally finished Dragon Quest Heroes, the first one. That kind of put me in a mood for another one of those games.
See,
not necessarily Dragon Quest though.
I started Dragon Quest 11 finally, like right as I started this episode, and I wish that I had waited until I had finished this video.
Nah.
Because now
well, you know, I had some pretty long breaks.
I know, but I think I can jump back in because I'm still like still at the very, very beginning.
Yeah, I don't think it's not a hard game, and there's like a story summary every time you boot it up too.
Right, exactly, which is makes me feel like less or more optimistic about it.
Yeah, I mean there were times where like I was just so busy that I put Dragon Quest 11 aside for
yeah,
a month or longer.
But then finally, Ys Memory of Celceta came out this week on PS4, and I really had the urge to replay that.
So did you start it?
No, I mean I just checked out the very beginning of it just to see how it looks.
I did too. It's not an impressive port.
No.
I mean, technically it's better than Vita, but it's...
I mean, it's much better than the Vita. I mean, let's
sure.
not act like it's...
Yeah, it is.
The Vita version is not run very good, especially
really. I mean,
revisiting
it's been
it now.
a long time since
I mean, it just
played
like it runs a really low resolution on the system.
But yeah, it's... I mean, even on PS4 Pro, I don't know if there's a difference. Like, it says Pro Enhanced, but it doesn't really seem obviously so. But yeah, to my, untrained eye, I don't have the Digital Foundry pixel counting formula down. But it looked like the 3D graphics were 1080p, possibly without any anti-aliasing. Like it's pretty jaggy, but not impressive. But you know, it is better than Vita. I'm getting falling behind on donations here. There was 2 from Chris.
Oh,
Thank you. Saying I'm going to play Final Fantasy VII Remake in a year when it comes to PC. Yeah, I'm sure it will. I mean, it's, you know, it's weird how they broadcast like console exclusive until, or PlayStation exclusive until, you know, 1 year from its release.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, but yeah, I mean, hopefully, if you play it on PC, you won't have as bad of low resolution texture issues. And I do hope it'll get a nice. I could see myself replaying it on PS5 if they make like a good enough.
I mean, I would replay it on PS5 if they make it so it's like in an all-one version with Part 2. I mean, that's what I'm hoping they'll do, is they'll just combine them both into one game, which would be pretty cool.
There was a $3 donation from DT Playthroughs having a question that is something you're going to have to answer.
Okay.
And I feel relatively confident you'll have an answer for this.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite music or sports documentary?
My favorite music documentary is definitely Pearl Jam 20. I love it. I've watched it so many times, and I saw it when it was like a limited release in New York. But it's great for fans of the band. For sports, not really, because I'm not like a really big sports guy. Although I am desperately excited to watch Last Dance, because that's like the only real era of basketball that I even care about or was like interested in it. But I've heard a lot of good things about it. I mean, it's quite the commitment too. It's like 10 parts or something like that, like 10 parts, and they're an hour each, I think. Sound City, is that the Dave Grohl produced one about the music studio? I thought it was pretty good until, I mean, if that's the one I'm thinking about, is Sound City is the Dave Grohl one. I thought it was pretty good until like the second half of it became about not Pearl Jam, about Foo Fighters like making their new album. There.
There was also £2 from good old Engine UK saying, how do you guys decide when and what to play? Well, the win is always 9 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday. But sometimes we decide well ahead of time. Like you had been meaning to play this since you got that code.
Yeah, I mean that was last week.
So you like decided like a week ago already that you were going to play this week. Let's see, what did I play last week? I played Wonder Boy in Monster World. See, that was suggested the previous week. And I decided to play it. I decided to play it like early at some point during Sunday. I was like, oh yeah, because I couldn't really decide what to play. Like the previous time I streamed, when I streamed Final Fantasy Adventure, like for some reason I was having a super hard time deciding that. And I was just back and forth about, oh, I'll do this, maybe I'll do this, no, I'll do this, no. And finally I settled on that. But that, you know, I decided that like maybe like 25 minutes before the stream. Or less, maybe. Like it was super last minute. Usually like when I'm eating lunch on Sunday, I'll just like bring up my backloggery and I'll look through my unfinished games and see if anything
what you feel like.
see if anything jumps out at me. And if nothing jumps out, then I'll maybe sort of think like, like what's maybe an old favorite that I'd like to play instead of making backlog tests. Sometimes I'll do that. And sometimes it just won't. Sometimes it's just not coming to me, and I'll figure it out later in the day. Bit spam with $2. Thank you. Is asking any idea on when Sega ages 2500 11 through 15?
I guess I should really get around to doing it because it's been
right at a year, maybe, or not quite. It was like, was it August? I think it was. August.
It was when we were at
It was when we were at Long Island, which I think was August. Man, that was such a good convention.
Not dead.
I remember you were really like down on it though, because like I think you were feeling really over the video by the time it was done.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
then it did like it did really
one right now.
It did really poorly.
I mean, it didn't do great, but I mean, it doesn't matter.
I mean, to be honest, you're really done with every video
by the time I'm finished.
By the time you finish it, but the wind is put back in your sails like when the views and the comments start coming.
Right, exactly.
But then with that one, like no one really watched.
Yeah, and I don't even know how many views it has now. We can look to see how many it even has at this point. I mean, I have no idea. I mean, it is totally fine that it doesn't do.
You know, if you Google search Sega Ages 2500, the first two, and then you go to the videos. The first two videos are your videos.
Really? Yeah. Are you sure that's just not showing up because that's
because I'm logged? No, actually, I don't even. I'm logged in as my personal account. I'm not logged in as My Life in Gaming. I mean, they are connected, so I don't know if it's possible. Let's see, so the first one has 52,000 views. That's not too bad, especially considering how old it is.
Yeah.
The second one only has 38,000.
Yeah.
Not great.
There's like a faster way to. They're better the first time.
Maybe we do Mario Paint next weekend. You know, something I have wanted to stream for a while is Mario and Wario. I wanted to stream that with the Hyperkin mouse. Because that is one of the good Hyperkin products. I mean, you know. And I know they don't have the best reputation, but that one, I mean, I can't say that much about the build quality per se, but I mean, you know, I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll barely hold up to significant use. But, I mean, you don't have to try very hard to be better than the real SNES mouse.
Clean up on aisle 4.
I do have the original SNES mouse. I might even have the plastic mouse pad that came with it. I might. I'm pretty sure because I got it used. I got it at Funko. I think so. I didn't get the box, but I did get the mouse with the game. Donkey Kong 94 stream. That would be fun. The only thing that gives me pause is I'm pretty sure my battery is dead, or at the very least, it has lost saves before.
I'm pretty sure that was one of the ones I replaced.
Was that one of the ones you replaced? Let me check my backlog read because I noted every single one that you replaced. Let's see.
I wonder if the hockey sticks are more effective on it.
You replaced, for whatever reason, the Donkey Kong Country Game Boy Color battery. But I don't have Donkey Kong 94 marked here. So I'm not sure. I mean, I should be able to tell by opening it up.
Is that the? I'm pretty sure that I did because that's one of the ones that. Didn't you get caught in your bike or something like that?
A friend was borrowing it, and he was bringing it back to my house on his bike, and he had it in a plastic sack, and he was like holding it and on the handlebars, and then like I guess like the bike wheel hit the bag, and there's like these streaks going across my cartridge. So yeah, it looks bad, but you know, it's mine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's mine. It's my original. I'm the original owner of it. You know, I've got that memory with it. So it looks ugly. I never use it in B-roll, unfortunately, even though it's one of the best Game Boy games. I'll have to open it up and see if the battery's been replaced. If so, I would definitely be into streaming that because that's a great game.
Giving me trouble just because it's such a long, drawn-out fight.
Yeah, this looks like the first time in the game you're like having much trouble. We got $2 from Potbelly Punch. Thank you. Saying, have you played the Outfoxies? Not.
That's isn't that like the Smash Brothers like? Before Smash Brothers came out, it's like Smash, like a big inspiration for Smash.
Really? Vanessaria gave another $2. Thank you. Saying, Indrago says if Coury dies, he dies. Right? I can't hear the voiceover here, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Potbelly Punch says it's elevator action returns, but versus, and has great music.
There we go.
Bounty collected.
I've never played the Game Boy Faceball 3000 or 2000 or whatever it's called. Just Faceball. The only version of Faceball I've played is the Super Nintendo version. I don't love it, but one of my friends had it back in the day, and we played it every now and then.
We're going down to the sewers. Gotta have a sewer level.
Now I don't need a bath until next year. Go ahead.
Outfoxies is a 1995 Namco game, arcade.
Show the way.
Now, it looks like it may have only been released in the arcade.
That's pure skill, baby.
Oh wow!
What? It looks.
It's got this like zooming in and out action. I guess it's kind of like Samurai Showdown, except I think it's a bigger zoom. That's interesting.
I had mentioned this the other day. Did anybody get the free Samurai Showdown collection from the Neo Geo collection on the Epic Game Store that came out on the 11th?
Wait, what?
The Samurai Showdown Neo Geo collection is available on the Epic Game Store for free.
Oh, is that the digital clips?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was out.
Yeah, it's free for a limited time on the Epic Game Store.
And then is it releasing on?
It's gonna be on consoles. I think it's like middle of next month, middle of July, like July 15th or something like that.
I saw a tweet from Micah.
Oh, about the HD scaling.
About the HD scaling, which is
It's super cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it's so cool that like information exists in that way in the game's code that like you can take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if anything similar could be done. I mean, I guess it's kind of not unlike how, you know, sometimes you can have like high-res mode 7 on Super Nintendo.
Right.
But still, like, I never would have thought of that. Like, that's so cool.
Feels like Christmas.
But the main reason I bring it up is because there's several interviews on there, and I edited those interviews for that.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
That was last year. Yeah, last summer. I did it. So it's kind of neat, like having my name in the credits, like that.
Next time, I'm keeping the body. No people who pay good money.
So it's just kind of neat having been involved. We didn't shoot it or anything. I just edited the footage that I received. So it's not like an episode.
My life in, yeah,
it's not
my life in gaming production per se.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah, it's still neat to be able to have done that.
Ooh, I would not mind streaming Grab by the Ease. Although, did you stream it one time?
Yeah, I think that was like the second stream we ever did.
On Rare Replay.
Yeah. I haven't played it since. Shell Shock Murdoch.
Yeah, I'll agree that Demon Souls strikes me as kind of a strange game to be getting a Blue Point remake. Like a, you know, big like Shadow of the Colossus level remake, like not just an HD, you know, 4K remaster. It's a strange, but the thing that's interesting about Demon Souls that has always kind of fascinated me, you know, I played it, you know, back before Dark Souls, you know, became a thing, and I loved it. But I liked Dark Souls more when it came out. But everyone that I was friends with that was also big into Demon Souls prefer Demon Souls to Dark Souls. Like, the hardcore fans seem to think Demon Souls was a better designed game. And I was like never like that into the nitty-gritty of the mechanics and everything and boss designs and things like that. You know, big time fans of those series. I think I love those games. I really love those games, but I think there are hardcore people that understand them on a different level. And those people seem to prefer Demon Souls, but I liked the level design in Dark Souls better. That large interconnected world, I still think is the best 3D Metroid style unified world design that I've ever seen in 3D. I mean, I just think it's incredible. And that's why I love that game so much. Or one of the reasons. But like Demon Souls, just I don't know. It is a very strange game to be remade.
I don't think it's that weird. Jeez.
I mean, to be getting that treatment, like I don't know. It seems strange.
I mean, it's gonna do well because there's a lot of people probably interested to see where the series got its start.
Yeah, it is, but I mean, I'll be very interested to see what Blue Point does.
This guy is hilarious. He's like having these flashbacks.
Vanessa says it'd be funnier if the boss was yelling, "Booty!
Booty!"
Yeah, Dark Souls got a remaster, but not Demon Souls. Demon Souls was published by Sony. I mean, well, in Japan anyway. I mean, it was kind of considered a first-party game, even though, I mean, it was from software, but I mean, it was. But then, like, Sony wasn't going to bring it to the U.S., and Atlas did. I remember there was felt like 5 times that like Atlas was going to take the servers for Demon Souls offline, and then they kept delaying it and kept delaying it and kept delaying it, kept pushing it back. I don't even know if they ever went down. They probably did. Oh, and it took even longer to get a Europe release. I mean, it took a while for here too, as I recall.
I was just seeing if I could spam him with that. He's like, "Oh, the horrors! Oh, the horror!"
One of the games that really stood out to me at that Sony event was that Kena, which is that like sort of cartoonish looking game with like kind of in sort of an Asian looking environment.
Mm-hmm.
And it had that girl with those like little small black furred creatures that looked like they could maybe operate as Pikmin. Like I was way into the look of that game.
See, I cannot even remember what that looks like. I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah, sort of the variety of games they showed off, almost felt like a PS2 throwback where there was like, hey, there's something for everyone here, and it's not all serious, dudes with guns. Yeah, there was the Stray Cat game. I mean, there wasn't enough. Like, I was into the style of that game for sure. There wasn't enough to really let me know what playing it is like, though, in that trailer. In that other trailer for like that Kena game, there was some evidence of gameplay and what those little furry creatures might do for you. But the weird thing about that one is supposedly it's also coming out on PS4, and it does not look. It's too smooth. Like the character models are too smooth. Those fur creatures have really good shading on them. Some of the foliage looked really dense. I don't see how it can be a PS4 game without stark cutbacks. But I thought it looked really cool. I also really like the visual style of that little devil inside.
Yeah, and you were saying that's an old Kickstarter game.
Yeah, yeah, I looked it up and it was like a Kickstarter from like 2015.
Someone was just talking about a Kickstarter that I had forgotten about a long time ago, and I was amazed that when I looked it up that it still is being planned. I cannot remember what the name of it was though. Was it? It was like a zombie, like Raise the Dead, I think it was, and that was like at the PS4, like indie, like in the indie like the first E3 of PS4.
Oh wow.
And I did a search for it recently, and I was surprised that it's still like close to happening. It's kind of like I had this one that I kickstarted a long time ago called it's like a kind of a PS1 style RPG throwback called like Soul Saga. I think it's still coming, but it's been a long time.
More people need to get on Dreams PS4. Like that's a game that like I still don't even have any concept of like is that out?
Yeah, oh
like
yeah.
it was in beta for a long time, but like I have no idea if like a non-beta version came out. Like I would like to try it someday, like not to create anything, but I'd like to experiment with it, but or just see what people have created. But I don't expect I would get too into it, but who knows? Like I honestly like I thought that Sackboy game that they showed on PS5 like looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, I'm kind of hoping that like, oh, maybe it won't have like a creative mode in it.
Well, it'll
like,
probably
I'm
have
sure
a little bit of one, but it's not gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be the focus this time.
I don't think it's gonna be like make your own game or levels or anything.
Right.
Like they'll probably like let you like decorate your pod and let you customize Sackboy and maybe make your own stamps and stickers. Or
I was capturing some video from Little Big Planet on the PSP, and like basically the second one is all I ever needed. The fact that Little Big Planet got as many games as it did is kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, it was really just 3 console games and then two like one for each portable.
Right,
so that's not
that
that many. I mean, isn't it like Mod Nation Racers that got like didn't it get like PS3, PSP, and maybe Vita? I can't remember. I had, or I guess still have technically, a PSP Mod Nation Racers. I beat it. I marked it off my backlog because it was like there was some reason that like Sony was giving away free games. I think was it like an apology for something or like some lawsuit they lost or something, and people wasn't there something like that where they like lost a lawsuit and offered compensation to people with like free game codes? I can't remember exactly. Oh, you just fell down that pit.
Yeah.
Oh, the PSN hack. Oh man, that was so long ago. That was so long ago. But yeah, I forget what else I got out of that, but like there wasn't much of anything I really wanted. So, Mod Nation Racers, I got that. Wasn't great.
I don't know how to get him. He's gonna do it himself. Here we go. Oh, he does a lot of damage, but shoot. blow your face about it.
You know,
Blow
I
your
may
face
have
up and
gotten
forget about it.
I may have gotten Little Big Planet from that as well, even though I had it. Like, it's just like, well, there's nothing else I want, so I'll just get a digital copy of it. Which actually turned out to be handy because I was able to install it on the extra PS3 that my parents got for free with their TV. And sometimes they would keep my cousin's kids, you know, individually for a week during the summer. And so my mom was always like, can you put something on the PS3 that they'll play? So they really liked Little Big Planet.
I don't know. How did that person do so much damage to me?
Want to do it the right way? Do it yourself, as Mama always says. Now, you found it.
Wait, Engine UK is saying next MLiG stream it will be the shortest day in the UK. It doesn't make any sense because isn't
like June 21st would be.
June
I thought June 21st is the longest day. I thought.
Isn't June 20? I thought it was June 22nd. But regardless, one of those days around then is the longest day. Did you mean to say longest day? Because I can't imagine it would be different in another place on the northern hemisphere.
Let's see if I can do this.
I thought it was the 22nd though for some reason. Yeah, and southern hemisphere should be the shortest. Craig Wan says wants you to know that he finally played X-Men vs. Street Fighter on the Saturn, and wow, it's so much better than the PS1 version. I can see why that port has its fans.
Oh yeah.
Now, you found it. Get some. Witness the power. I'll fuck your face off and forget about it. I'll sleep like a baby.
Does this game have co-op?
It does.
I'm sure this will get a physical release.
Yeah, it seems like something that they would get a physical release.
I mean, it's definitely, yeah, it's got to be a shooter. So I'll probably get this when that happens. We did play Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah,
Co-opted it on the stream, and it was great.
No worries, boss. No, I don't hear any gunshots now. Something came up. Gotta go.
This I love doing this with the Molotov cocktail, throwing it just right at the door as they all come in.
Oh, Warren Hokie knows exactly who he wants to get his Zelda opinions from. Thoughts on Spirit Tracks? Only mainline Zelda you've never played.
I haven't played either one of the DS ones. I have them both, but I've not played them.
Let me ask you, what did you think of Phantom Hourglass? Because I have similar feelings on both Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, and that I actually personally thought the controls were great. I thought they made a very interesting touchscreen based action system with those games. I liked the game engine. I liked the controls and the way that you used items and stuff. I thought it was very clever. I thought they did a good job with that. I just didn't really care that much for the game that they built around that solid foundation. In either case, I would rank both pretty low on my favorite Zeldas. Spirit Tracks. I remember thinking that the actual train riding stuff was just so annoying and not fun. Like, I love sailing in Wind Waker, but I just did not think the train part, I forget exactly the reasons why, but I remember I had some beefs with how the train was implemented in Spirit Tracks. In fact, I mean, I remember specifically thinking that until, like, I mean, maybe I shouldn't say this because I know there are some hardcore Oracle of Ages and Minish Cap fans. And I'm sure, like, a lot of people were probably like the exact right age for Minish Cap. You know, GBA was their main system when they were young, and Minish Cap was their Zelda game. They grew up on it. Like, I respect that. I don't have anything against Minish Cap. It was just not very memorable for me. I remember thinking it was fine, but I've only played it once and don't remember much about it. Likewise with Oracle of Seasons and Ages, like, I liked them well enough, but nowhere near as much as Link's Awakening. And I felt like until A Link Between Worlds, there had never been a truly great handheld Zelda after Link's Awakening until A Link Between Worlds, which is incredible. We do not have a Poly Mega. Is there even a release date for that?
I don't know if it has a set release date yet.
Ooh, Chris is off to play Ape Escape. Sounds like the best idea I've heard all night.
Want to do it the right way? Do it yourself, as Mama always says.
Oh yeah, the central dungeon in Phantom Hourglass. I think Spirit Tracks had a similar hook, if I remember. Yeah. You know what blows my mind? I need to double check my facts on this, so don't take what I'm saying to be fact. But if I recall, the guy who directed Phantom Hourglass or possibly Spirit Tracks was also the director of Skyward Sword. And he had this big obsession with, you know, making sure that, like, the player at all times knows exactly how to play the game. You know, that was why, like, you got, like, the rupee message, like, literally every time you got one out of a treasure chest.
Right, right.
All the, like, he was just, like, just so careful to make sure that you at no point were confused as to what to do. Like, just completely assumed that you have zero capability for remembering anything. And like EGA Onuma admitted, like, you know, maybe with Zelda, we've, like, you know, maybe held your hand a little too much, and, you know, I realized some of that stuff might not be all that fun. And that's when, with Link Between Worlds, like, they introduced, like, sort of the non-linear dungeon system where you rent the items out, you know, so you can do the dungeons in whatever order. That was kind of a first step. And then obviously with Breath of the Wild, I mean, that's just a wide open game. Blows my mind. Same guy was the director on Breath of the Wild. That was director on Skyward Sword and at least one of the DS games. So, like, obviously, Aonuma gave him a talking to, and somehow, like, his directorial intuitions were not completely at odds, I guess, with the kind of beautiful, wonderful game that Breath of the Wild turned out to be.
Yeah.
Because I never would have imagined the same guy that was director of those games would even have it in him to do Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Because what a completely different kind of game. I mean, I'm seeing Lord X Mugen in the chat saying, "No wonder I hate Breath of the Wild." But regardless, like they are, regardless of how you feel about the game, they are radically different games in every conceivable way.
Yes.
From those handholdy Zelda games. So it just blows my mind that Aonuma didn't pick a different director, and it turned out so good. Or at least so radically different. I actually booted up Breath of the Wild earlier today for the first time in a long
Oh yeah?
time.
I mean, I was thinking about like it recently, just like how much I liked it. You know what I booted up today that I realized, like, oh man, makes me want to play through the other games in the series that I've not played is capturing some footage from Breath of Fire 4.
I've never played through. I mean, I have yet to finish any Breath of Fire game, but the visual style of 4 is awesome.
Right. It made me really want to sit down and play it. I mean, it's just like I wish that I could just start playing it when the mood strikes me, and I could just continue on. But I think that I take too many. I feel committed once I've started another game. I'm committed to finishing that one first, and then by the time I finish that, I might not be in the mood anymore for Breath.
Oh, I see. Lord X Mugen's beef with Breath of the Wild is hating the characters. The game went so far out of its way to make Link have friends and stuff, and you just don't care. I agree that I did not really care about like the story of Breath of the Wild at all, but like the gameplay is and world design is just so phenomenal in terms of what I'm looking for in an open world game, which open world games are not something, it's something that both of us kind of are lukewarm about. Like the typical formula for an open world game that's like, you know, every Ubisoft game and stuff like that. Like we've played a bunch of those games and we're just kind of burnt out on it.
I burnt out on what? Open world?
Unlike, you know, the Ubisoft style open world.
Right, where it's just like a billion icons. I mean, we liked Zelda so much because they essentially just throw you into it and let you figure out what you want to, like, what you want to figure out. And I think one of the reasons we liked it so much, I mean, we go into this about in the video, it's just because of the circumstances surrounding it. And I think that's one of the reasons it probably struck a lot of people early on, because you're going in not knowing anything. And Nintendo was like very closed lips about it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But yeah, story is not something that it's for Zelda, you know, it's icing on top, but you know, story is not the most important part of a Zelda game for me, you know.
Yeah. Craig one was wondering earlier, was asking if do I think I would like this better if it didn't have so much spoken dialogue. I don't feel like the spoken dialogue is like super necessary for sure. It would be nice if they had like an arcade mode that didn't have any of that stuff in it.
In what?
In this?
Oh, I thought you were enjoying the dialogue.
I mean, I'm talking about like cutscenes and stuff.
Oh, I didn't.
I don't mind like during the actual fights and stuff. I think it's pretty funny during the fights. But I mean, I didn't need this like big cutscene of him talking about, you know, talking to like this big crowd of people. It could have said the exact same thing, just like showing him talking to them, and not have to have all of his dialogue. But maybe it'll play in. I don't know.
Yeah, I booted up Breath of the Wild because I wanted to use it as an example of how, you know, a lot of people are like, yeah, cartridges are back, baby, but they really aren't. Game cards are not at all the same kind of technology as classic game cartridges, because those are like expansions to the system's memory, and you know it can directly and instantly address them as part of the system memory, whereas game cards are really like CDs in just a different form factor. You know, it loads the data. It's a completely different technology. So it's inaccurate to say that cartridges are back. And I was capturing from it because, you know, it's weird to think. I mean, of course we'd seen it with like 3DS and Vita and stuff. You know, the load times on those game cards. But I think on a home console, it really drove it home that like it's kind of a different thing because it was having to load so much more data than a 3DS game. So those load times can be, you know, fairly long sometimes. So that was an example I wanted to show about what's different about the technologies, because this video kind of gets into, you know, cartridges, CDs, you know, and the you know, preserving both, as well as preserving, you know, the system's functionality to continue to read its media. So there was a donation from Jet Set Baroni, $5. Thank you. Saying, just found you guys. Love it. Sega Saturn image quality question. Quality SCART cable or HD Retrovision component cable? Which is better? The better one is whichever works most conveniently with your setup.
Yes.
And if both are equally easy, then, you know, in terms of like clarity, they'll be identical, completely identical. Are the Saturn adapters still readily available for that?
I have no idea, honestly.
Shoot, you know, today is Sunday, and I meant to, I wanted to order from Retro Access. I completely forgot to do this. I wanted to order they make like a male to female Genesis 2 adapter, so it's a flexible cable. You can like run it a little more easily, and I need one for my Neo Geo.
Right, I do too.
Because yeah, I don't like the way, like, because I've got the stiff cable,
right?
The coaxial cable, and it does not go into my Neo Geo very well. So I wanted to get that adapter so I could run it better. And I was going to order it last week, and I ended up sleeping in, and it was closed. I'm sure it's not open now, but anyway, I say that to say, if you want to get a RGB cable, look for Retro Access to be open on Sundays, early on Sundays, because I don't think last week I think they were only open like an hour. Like 10 o'clock on Sundays, I think, is when they take their orders for the week. So yeah, so I mean, certainly Saturn cable would be readily available if you can get in on the window there. But I'm not sure if HG Retrovision still makes. I'm sure some people in the chat have said whether they still make the Saturn adapter or not.
You cannot match my power.
I saw a question in the chat. What component switcher are we using these days? Both of us are using G-Cops.
Yeah, I recently was looking.
Retro stuff.
Was looking at the impact switcher. I was like, do I have a use for it right now? I mean, I was just thinking if any way I could like work it into something if I needed to. I can't think of anything.
Well, I'm using it right now to run. I mean, I'm not using it for its dual output functionality. I'm just using it to output to that Toshiba CRT. Because like the visual fidelity doesn't matter that much on it. Like you would never know on that screen that it was minimally darkened and minimally less sharp. Like I don't even think this screen is high enough quality to tell that difference, you know?
Right.
And I'm running a line from, it goes from my old G-Comp, which is the 4 in, 1 out, that which goes to the Extron, which then jumps between a couple of PVMs and then ultimately goes to the impact switcher and then goes to the Toshiba. And then the second input on that impact switcher is connected to the Mike Cheese component, or RGB to component, which I'm using ultimately to get the analog DAC on that TV. So that way I have, you know, I've got some different options of what I can display on that TV. Oh, God. We got $2 from Blu-Ray. And I just have to say it really sad.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
You could learn much from me.
I'm just so sad about it. It sucks, you know?
Yeah, it's real depressing.
It's just like
It's
sometimes
like
I think Ben Brody just like doesn't even think about how I feel. This unholy goalie has to be like the last boss of this era.
Oh yeah,
right?
he is.
Like, because he's giving you some troubles.
He's not giving me. I mean, he is, but he's like not that hard. I mean, his pattern seems to be pretty. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, the Live Gamer 4K is still really good. I mean, there are some caveats. It's still really good with the OSSC, but I would getting the one thing with its OSSC support, which is I don't recall. I haven't used it with OSSC in a bit because I've really rearranged how I do things. But I didn't really have any trouble with it accepting OSSC, anything with it regarding it. But in its native software, the aspect ratio won't be correct. There are ways to work around that though, but I usually didn't do it, and I just corrected the aspect ratio in editing. Like it stretched it out, and I would just correct it in editing.
Mm-hmm.
But another way you could do that is using OBS. You could just set you could make a OBS frame. Like let's say you were using 4x.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. Here, explain it.
Let's say you were using 4x on the OSSC, and you made a frame that was 1200 by 960, and then you just resized the input to be that size. That's actually what I do, but upstairs now, but with a different capture card. I do it with the Magewell capture card, which does do 4K, but it doesn't do HDR. And I capture with that Magewell OBS with a 1280 by 960 frame, and I just size it. I size it so that it's the correct aspect ratio, because it, for example, the card reads 480p stuff as being a little wider than it should be. Like to most people's eyes, it would probably look fine, but like technically it's a little wider than a CRT. So those I actually squish in a little bit. So OBS gives you a ton of flexibility. The only other thing I would say, well, the only two things I would say about the AverMedia Live Gamer 4K. The HDR tone mapping is like, it's not perfect. Like I noticed a lot of my Final Fantasy VII remake footage. Like it looked maybe especially some of the brighter stuff looked a little overblown. Like compared to what I was seeing on my TV with the proper HDR implementation. Thought maybe looked a little overcompensated for in some ways. It's not perfect, but it's still good. I mean, I don't know if anything does better than that for HDR tone mapping. And the only other thing I would say, which is like something that you would probably literally never notice. I didn't notice this until the Mega SG video. And I was looking at this and I was actually like reporting it as a bug to Analog, which turned out to not be the case. It has something to do with like the sub-sampling of like colors, I think, how it does it, you know, so that it's not using like full 444 RGB color bandwidth. And by the time the video is encoded, it's not like 444 anyway. It doesn't even matter. And for usual game content, you'll never see a difference. Even with the OSSC, you won't see a difference unless possibly you're using optimized OSSC settings that would have those hard edges, which I personally don't use. Feels a little inauthentic and fiddly to me. So you won't see it there. But if you're using, say, the Mega SG or something else that is outputting, if you turn interpolation off on the Mega SG, I'm getting really in the weeds here, but if you turn interpolation off on the Mega SG, sometimes you might see a weird color edge, depending on what colors are bumping up against each other. And it has to do with how it's doing subspace sampling. But if you turn interpolation on the Mega SG, it looks fine. But you're never going to notice that because you're not making...
It's fine.
You're not making videos about comparing all this stuff like we are, I assume. You would literally never notice. So all that to say, I haven't really paid attention if like any other worthy alternatives have come around, but I'm still really happy with it for how I use it. But I capture most retro stuff with my Magewell card nowadays. But HD stuff, 4K stuff, I'm still completely capturing with the AverMedia.
So this lady is definitely going to be the last boss, right?
Oh, she's got to be. Does she appear to be on your side?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not really paying attention to what she's saying. Well, she looks like the old lady version of like Mr. X.
Right. I mean, she's just using the bounty hunter to hunt down and kill these other competing gangs, probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, never trust someone who, you know,
doesn't show their face.
Doesn't show her face, has a marble desktop and a gigantic fish tank behind them.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Let's see if I can get to this third world. I can wrap it up, and maybe when I finish the episode that I'm doing, I'll stream the rest.
Way to hell when I'm done, Miss Rose.
Oh no!
What?
Chris accidentally overwrote his Ape Escape save with a save at the beginning of the game.
Oh jeez.
The save menu interface in that game is actually kind of bad. Like, it's really confusing. I forget exactly how it goes, but like you press like not the button you would expect. Like if you go into like continue game and then you hit X, I think you actually back out to the title screen. So you like have to go into the load screen by pressing another button, and it's really backwards. It's really backwards. I could see how you could possibly make a mistake. Once you know what you're doing, though, you could get back to that point pretty quickly. I still need to catch all the monkeys in Ape Escape too.
So you completed the first one?
I didn't 100% complete it, but I still wanted to catch all the monkeys. My file doesn't say 100% because I didn't do the time trials. I just didn't feel like it. But I still wanted... The main reason I wanted to catch all the monkeys was because the bad guy gets away.
Who's next?
Oh,
So
you
you
think
beat
that
the game
catching them all is
normally?
gonna... It has a bad end?
Ape Escape 1.
Wait, the bad guy, you said the
Like, you don't even get to fight him.
Oh, do you fight him in the second one?
No, if you just beat the game, like you, like he gets away,
Oh, okay.
and you have to collect all the monkeys, and then there's a last level where all that level is just a fight with the bad guy.
I see.
And it just kind of felt like, you know, I should just do it. And it didn't take that long to collect all the monkeys. It really didn't. It was fun. Second game actually has a pretty intense. It's the same bad guy in the second game. You know, he gets loose again. But just being the game normally, you actually have a pretty intense boss fight with him. So that's a satisfying ending. But I still kind of feel like getting all the monkeys. I don't know if I'm going... I'm sure there is something extra. I think there is supposed to be something extra if you catch all the monkeys. But I'm not sure exactly what. But that said, I still want to do it anyway. But I doubt it's going to be 100% complete. But I still want to do it. Like, I'm pretty close to doing it. I only got like maybe 5 more levels to get all the monkeys in, so it's not that bad. We got 5 from Craig Watt. Thank you, sir. Saying, what are your thoughts on arcade racing games like Initial D Arcade Stage and Wangan Midnight Maximum Tune? They use magnetic cards for player data.
Oh, I think that stuff is super cool. I mean, when we were in Chicago a couple of years ago, we saw like an F-Zero AX machine that would have been super cool to do it with. I mean, that's GameCube, so it's not like technically it's not the same kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's the same concept. I think that is super awesome. I mean, I've never really had ready access to arcades that use that kind of technology, so I've never been able to take advantage of it. But I mean, it's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard people say that, like, you know, they want to keep like their GameCube memory card in their wallet. You know, just in the off chance that one day they finally come across that F-Zero AX machine. You know what's interesting? I was talking to Matt Lisi, you know, Insurrection Industries. He said that Portland Retro Gaming Expo, there was a F-Zero AX arcade cabinet, and people were all wanting to, you know, put the data on their GameCube memory card,
And it didn't work.
and it didn't work. And I mean, I don't know if anyone ever, as far as he saw, no one ever figured it out. And we were talking, and we kind of wondered if
it even works with the US. If it's
it may not work with the US because GameCube memory cards are weird in that they're region free, but once you formatted it for a region's games, you can't like share a North American. You can't share North American saves with Japanese saves on the same memory card, unfortunately.
Oh, there's I guess there was a donation from Sean Quinn that you missed.
Oh, you are right.
Sorry about that.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I did miss. 499 for Sean Quinn. Tell us about Coury. He wouldn't want us to know now that he's gone. Well, I'll think of something anyway. Let's see.
Maybe like a joust guy. That's kind of fun.
Let's see. What Coury not? What would you not want us to know? I don't know. I feel like Coury doesn't have like a lot of secrets. I mean, Coury probably doesn't want you to know that he hoped to have. He probably wishes you didn't know that he had previously said that the video would be out. He wishes he could take that back. I'm sure Coury has a lot of things that he wishes he could take back, but you already know them.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Is there anything that I would like to share that, if it makes sense to share something, I'll pick up the slack and think of something. I'll think of something for you.
I know that you don't like applesauce.
Yeah. I think I may have talked about that though before. I got sick on it. I really don't like olives.
I mean, that's a pretty common food to not like.
Yeah.
I don't hate olives, but I prefer to not have them.
I don't
If
like
they're
mushrooms.
Huh?
I don't like mushrooms.
Oh, I love mushrooms.
It's Groundhog Day.
Coury thinks ketchup is just tomato candy. That kind of makes me not like ketchup, thinking
tomato candy.
Sounds a little gross.
There's something. I don't know. Like I can't think of anything off the top of my head that like I'd feel. I guess would feel comfortable like just like saying. I'll think about it.
I mean, you probably wouldn't want to share too many details of your experience following eating that Carolina Reaper beef jerky.
That's true.
The next day. I mean, I probably shared my experience.
We did get some more. Sean did send us some extra hot stuff that will.
Oh yeah, that stuff I'm not looking as
well.
I don't know what
they're
to
very
expect
small.
They're small, but in terms of enjoyment, I have low expectations because I don't like spicy candy very much. Like I don't even like cinnamon candy at all, really. Like I like cinnamon on like baked goods like bread and pies, but not in candy. I don't know if this is like cinnamon based, but I always think of like, that's what I always think of like spicy candy is cinnamon. I mean, there's like spicy chocolate, which like I've had before, and it's like, at first it's like, it's not bad. But then it's like, but it's not good either.
But I like doing yard work.
Oh yeah,
That's an unpopular thing, probably. Oh, can I take them in any order I want?
oh, there's like a sub-world map to this level?
Well, each level has subworlds.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's not all one big long level. It's like an area, and it's each.
I thought there was just 4 areas though.
There's 4 areas, but within each one, they have
Okay.
4 or 5 more.
I guess I hadn't caught on to
I'm gonna do a little platforming here.
that. Bob Belly Punch is asking, what about pickle juice from the pickle jar? That stuff is delicious. That is living. Can only take a little sip at a time, but man, I could maybe see the appeal of that. You know, something I've been really into lately. To be honest, I feel like my pronunciation of this is wrong, but I've always called them pepperonichis.
Oh, okay. Pepperoncini.
Yeah.
I love them. Oh my gosh, I love them. I like to eat them by themselves.
Yeah. I've got
Maybe that's
a
why
jar of them.
why I don't have a hard time with the peppers.
I've got a jar of them in the fridge right now. Like the past couple of months, like every time I've gotten groceries, like I've gotten a jar of those. Like I've never like I've always enjoyed them. Like, you know, you get like one at a restaurant. Or,
right. Like usually with your like Greek salad or something. You get
yeah. There usually be like 1 or 2 in like some salads or something.
Yeah.
And I love them, but like I never really thought to
just get them by themselves.
You can buy them. Yeah, I just never thought like, why can't I just have them anytime?
Yeah, I get that from my brother. My brother introduced me to them like a long time ago, like when we were kids. And I really like them just by themselves.
Yeah,
sure.
And so I've sometimes like just in the middle of the day, like I just get a craving for it now that I've got like easy access to it. I'm just like,
do you get that do you get that thing where you like think about them though, and you can like feel almost like the heat in your mouth, like your saliva will manifest in a way that it was like as if it was trying to cool down your mouth if you just think about them? Like, I mean, I definitely get that a lot.
See, I never would have thought you would be into those. You said you didn't like spicy food. I mean, they aren't like the spiciest things ever, but they have a good kick to them.
Yeah. I am definitely a fan.
Yeah, like I'm just like constantly craving them now, and I'll just like put 3 on my plate when I'm eating them. They're so good.
These guys are so funny when you shoot them with this. They go out of control and crash.
If you ever I'd never seen pepperonichis or whatever you call them. I've never seen them sliced up into like little
like rings.
Yeah.
Oh, I get those. I mean, technically, with those, are those the same thing as getting them on pizza as like banana peppers? Are they the same kind?
No, I think banana peppers are something different.
But they're very similar tasting.
They're similar, but I think they're different. But I'm not sure, to be honest. But last summer, my mom got into buying them that way, and she was like, you know, whenever I went over there, she'd make, you know, sandwiches with it on. It was so good. It tasted different than banana pepper to me. Because I like banana peppers on, you know, Subway or whatever. I like banana peppers on a sandwich. It tasted different to me. But I guess, I mean, if it is the same thing, it could have been psychological too. But it was so good.
Today, you're the opportunity, bounty hunter.
But yeah, like, especially if you get one of those peppers that, like, you know, some of them are kind of flattened and don't really have any juice in, but some of them are like filled with juice.
Oh yeah.
And like you just like, if you just like bite the whole thing off at once, then it just like, it really gets you for a moment. But
yeah,
it's so
I mean,
good.
just thinking about that makes my makes my mouth react as if it was eating something hot.
Mm. Mm. I could go get one right now. That little plate that I was eating that chicken on earlier. I think I'm gonna get one.
You're gonna get one.
Is that the best you can do?
I'm a people person, but from a distance with a scope. Windage and elevation is everything. Can you run 3,000 feet per second? If not, your head better be bulletproof. You can run, but you'll just die tired.
So like, these are kind of smaller ones right now. They don't look overly juicy. But
I'm a people person, but from a distance.
you know, I've been doing. I've been getting into doing grocery pickup at Walmart.
At Walmart.
Well, it was my you know, with the whole pandemic and everything, my mom got into it, and she liked how Walmart handled it better than any of the other grocery stores. Like Food Lion, you couldn't even reserve a time. She said Harris Teeter was okay, but Walmart was by far the best. And also Walmart, she said that, and it's true. They will, if you say like a certain item, you will accept substitutions. If, for example, when you made the order, they had it available. You know, maybe you place the order a couple of days ahead of time of your pickup, and then like they don't have it. You can say you accept substitutions, and if they will never charge you more. Like, so you could ask for like a generic brand, and then they'll give you like a brand for the same price as the generic. Or, for example, one time I ordered a smaller jar of pepperoncinis, and
3,000 feet per second. If not, your
they
head better be bulletproof.
substituted it for a gigantic jar and charged me the same price as a small one. That's pretty nice. I saw
You can run, but you'll just die tired.
It was a donation from Chris that we missed.
yeah, I saw
Windage and elevation is everything.
there was $2 from Chris, and he was asking, "What is our favorite hot pocket?"
Oh, ham and cheese. I love like the combination of ham and cheese. I like ham and cheese omelets. Although it's been a long time since I've had a hot pocket.
Yeah, I got one a few months ago. I think I ate so many of them in college and like early in my post-college life that I just like got so sick of them. I used to love them though. I would say my favorite is it's like, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's like chicken and jalapeno or chicken cheddar and jalapeno or something like that. That's my favorite.
These guys are really intense.
There was I usually get the lean pockets.
Windage and elevation.
I don't think they're that much worse than regular hot pockets.
Well, they're supposed to make you feel better about it.
They're supposed to make you feel better about it. Oh, there you go. That's good enough, I guess.
Can you run 3,000 feet per second?
But
Better be bulletproof.
one time, this was back in college. Oh yeah, there is a pretzel crust version of the chicken jalapeno, or maybe it always comes that way. I forget, but yeah, the pretzel crust is pretty good. In college though, I one time accidentally bought like some weird, I forget if it was like multi-grain or like it was supposed to be some like super healthy version of the lean pocket or whatever. It was just a mistake. I didn't know what it was, and whatever.
You don't have time for that. You don't have time for the healthy version of it.
Well, this is like the healthy version, the healthier version of the lean pocket.
Oh.
So I intentionally was getting the lean pocket, but like it was some weird bread. And I forget what it was. But it was so disgusting that like I couldn't eat a hot pocket for a while at all, even like, or a lean pocket, even one that didn't have that horrible bread. Like, I couldn't eat one for a long time because like it just brought back the taste of that bread, and it was nasty. I can't remember what it was, but it was kind of like grainy and browner looking. I don't remember what it was, but it was bad. Saw there was a question from Scoot Diggity asking if you found any of the hidden 80s references in the game yet, like Snake Plissken, Blade Runner, or Kaneda from Akira.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of the posters and stuff.
I didn't see a Snake Plissken.
Get hit with that missile. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Snake.
I saw, I did very much recognize the poster for The Thing, though.
Yeah. I see that someone was just asking if we're fans of Brave Fencer Musashi. That's another one that I really need to play through. I played through most of it a long time ago, but I don't remember anything about it.
I remember getting that like right before, like, it was like within the week that I took my that I got my driver's permit.
They say hard work never did anyone
Wait, what?
harm.
like when I got my driving permit
Uh-huh.
was like when it was like that same week that I got Brave Fencer Musashi.
Oh, wow.
Like it was used. I mean, it'd been out for a few years. So
I wonder what I got. So I got my driver's permit like the day that I was able to, the day I turned 16. So it was so that would be like the day after. Would have been the day after Christmas. Of gosh, 1995 maybe. That would make sense, right? 95, I think. Yeah.
Sean Quinn was saying that he ate a few months ago. He was eating some cheese curds in the dark, and something felt off, and he turned the light on, saw they were blue with mold. It's Lady Garden was asking if he got food poisoning, and he said no, but he felt awful that night and the next day. I think it was psychological. That's I think what happened to me. Last time I threw up, which was it was like I think I talked about this not that long ago. It was like 2 days before Dark Souls 2 came out.
Stash collected.
And I had tuna and mac and cheese. And like it's been a long time since I'd had tuna, and I was not a fan, but I was talking to trying it. And I
like tuna salad type deal or what?
It was like tuna in mac and cheese. Apparently, it's a thing.
Oh, okay.
And I hate tuna.
Really? Oh man.
Well, I mean, I never loved it, but it's been so long since I had it.
But you don't really like fish in general, right?
I mean, I like fish and chips.
Oh yeah.
Like fried fish is fine. Like I wouldn't.
I was gonna say like tuna's the chicken of the sea.
Tuna.
Man.
I've made this argument on the stream before. You can scoop tuna with an ice cream scoop and put it on a sandwich. That's literally what.
Because there's so much
does.
and that's like if there's so much mayonnaise in it.
You should not be able to. I mean, I guess you could do it with ground beef too, but still, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. But yeah, I threw up like crazy that night.
Sounds like you got food poisoning.
Well, I think it was psychological because. So here's the thing. It was cooked in this pot. That like, I don't think it'd been used in a really long time. And like the non-stick coating on it was like kind of cracked.
So you think that was
and we noticed like, oh, there's like a little shiny dot in the macaroni and tuna. And like, we realized that's what it was. But we just, paid attention and ate around it. But like, I like couldn't get that out of my head. Like, ooh, like, is it bad if I ate that? Any of that? And like, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I think that's the main reason I actually threw up.
Oh.
Like, that's why I say I think it was psychological.
Well, I guess it's no more ridiculous than applesauce.
But still, like, that's it for me and tuna. We're done.
No more chances.
No more chances. When I was, a kid or a teenager, I would every once in a while eat a tuna sandwich.
I was just like running for it, trying to get to the checkpoint.
But no more. I mean, I've eaten like grilled fish that was pretty good. Actually, a few nights ago, got Captain D's for the first time in forever.
Captain D's.
Yeah, because they sent some.
Nuts. I wouldn't be able to not think that if I was going there.
And I hadn't had it in years, and it was good. I got it because I got some coupons in the mail.
Is that the same thing as like Long John Silver's, Captain D's?
Yeah,
So it's
basically the exact same thing.
Oh, I haven't had Long
I
John
mean-
Silver's and
I mean, it's been longer since I've been to Long John Silver's, so maybe I'm overestimating how the same they are, but it, you know, it's basically the same thing. You know? So I got a fish and shrimp dinner. It was quite good. It was quite good. That's the kind of fish that I like. And I see For the Love of the Game donated $2 saying, you talking about that wheat? They're talking about that PS triple. If anyone watched Digital Foundry's PS5
yeah.
video, they had this like periodic Chad cam appear in the corner.
Talk about that little controller
reactions from Chad himself on the
yeah
is it quintuple? Is that
yeah.
5?
Yeah.
Talk about that PS quintuple.
Yeah.
You talking about that PS quintuple, Sandy? Sandy want a PS quintuple. I feel like we need to start the Wii RGB video with like, you know, like play it very straight and like, you know, sort of, you know, do our cold open build up.
Yeah.
And then when whichever one of us does the cold open, like appears on camera, you go, that's right. I'm talking about that Wii.
We're talking about that Wii.
Just say it completely straight.
You know, it's always really funny because I was telling John about this yesterday. Like yeah, well, I was saying I kind of have a little connection to that song, and that the song that plays in it is the song "We Fly High" by Jim Jones. And
that remix version he tweeted.
Oh no! I mean, this is so years ago. I worked on a show for MTV2 called Hip Hop's Toughest Rhymes, and I had to transcribe the lyrics to various songs for like an entire season of that show, and
oh wow,
that was one of the songs.
Giving Blows donated $1.99 saying I need to click that bell so I'm not always late.
Oh, does the bell make people come when they're like during streams too?
Well, I mean, people must get notifications for streams because they show up. I've always assumed people get notifications for streams.
Oh, email and push notifications. Huh. Shows you how much I know about that Wii.
About that YouTube.
Talk about that YouTube? It's the Overseer. He's like, he goes, "Move it, you worms!"
we need to get that ring the notification bell spiel down as well as Richard Ledbetter's got it. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a master at that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kidding. We're not going to put that in our
No.
But he's very good at it. He is consistent.
Yes. You do as I say. This is.
There are a lot of wheels on the backside of that car.
I know. It's a chariot. I'm trying to figure out how this works.
I mean, I think we could have some fun MLiG shirts sometime. I mean, if you just want a basic MLiG shirt, I think you could order one.
Yeah,
from the
I mean,
YouTube
I would love to
page.
do actual shirts that are
Like
more meaningful.
designed. Yeah. Yeah, someday we'd like to do that for sure. We need to get those extra M2 Blu-rays actually like packaged up.
I
Like we
know.
were all ready to do it, but then like we would have done it by now, but I think like the pandemic put the logistics of it into question.
Yeah. This makes it
We
more
need to-
challenging.
We need to re-inquire, I think,
Yes.
about that.
Agreed. Are people still? I wonder how many people are still even interested in it at this point.
Oh, I'm sure they are. The same people that wanted to buy one. It's just, you know, it's a shame because it's like going to have been a year since you could have got it from the collector's edition.
I know.
But it's okay. We're definitely going to prioritize a Blu-ray set of Analog Frontiers when it's out. I forget how many. I think we have like 200 or 300 discs. They just need to be packaged.
I gotta keep on blowing up these things so they don't. Getting caught up in what's happening.
Jonathan G, $2. Thank you. Ooh, try what do you hope to see in Final Fantasy 16? I mean, you know, Final Fantasy is.
So it's not confirmed that one
no,
game was.
I don't. I mean, at first I thought it was going to be because I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name. The guy who, you know, went in and made a shippable game out of
Oh yeah.
Final Fantasy versus 13 and made it Final Fantasy 15. I'm drawing a blank on his name.
It's not like Yoshida, was it?
Naoki Yoshida is the director of Final Fantasy 14.
So in a way,
But I think it was. I think
he
his
did
name
the same thing.
His name was kind of similar. Let me check who was the director on it. Yeah, Naoki Yoshida did the same thing with Final Fantasy 14, really, except the difference was that game released and then it had to be remade. Hajime Tabata.
Okay.
He he started like a studio at Square, like a subdivision within Square Enix. I believe was this Luminous Productions that appeared at the beginning of that project, Athia.
Right.
And not long after that, he left. I forget where he went, or if it was even announced.
He
where
was like
went.
fired, wasn't he?
I don't think so. But anyway, he started that, so it was very much like sort of implied that, like, okay, this is going to be the studio that's like making mainline Final Fantasy. So I was really surprised to see them not call that Final Fantasy 16. It's interesting because that trailer definitely made it seem like the focus was on one character.
Right, and
which I would not expect for a mainline Final Fantasy. I mean, obviously they did that with Lightning Returns, but I mean that was a sequel to a mainline Final Fantasy, so I think they can get away with that. But it'd be weird to have one character for a mainline Final Fantasy. I mean, I definitely would believe it if that ended up being Final Fantasy 16, but you know, I mean, I'll play it no matter what it is, and possibly even love it. But I really wish they'd be less afraid to make Final Fantasy, you know, just an RPG again.
I know. Like with random battles.
Like even if it wasn't random battles, like make it primarily menu based, you know?
Yes.
Or I mean, even like Final Fantasy 12, like even though you don't spend a lot of time actively engaging in the menu during battle, like it still feels like an RPG. And really, Final Fantasy 13 was actually a step back toward menu-based combat after Final Fantasy 12 shook it up. Like, Final Fantasy 13 was in, for all of its differences, and, you know, it was in a lot of ways more traditional than 11 or 12.
Yes.
So that was actually heartening to me that they were not necessarily moving in a straight direction away from the RPG-ness of it. That they were able, with 13, they were willing to go back. And they stuck with fundamentally the same battle system, you know, with tweaks through that whole 13 trilogy, which from a gameplay perspective, I thought the whole thing was rather fun.
Yeah.
14 is also like, you know, even though it's like, it's real time, like it's still based on ATB cooldowns, you know, positioning only matters in certain regards, you know, like it's not about like, you know, you're not making like as clear contact with the enemy, you know, it's not like Final Fantasy 7 where like your position is everything, you know, and the timing of your hits like is how it impacts the enemy.
Right. I mean, that's exactly what I would hope for. I mean,
it's different. I mean, Final Fantasy 14 Final Fantasy 14's battle system has grown on me a lot in the past year. Mostly just because I switched to a job that I've enjoyed more in that game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean that's still there, but Final Fantasy 15's battle system it did nothing for it. Final Fantasy 7's battle system was good, but I still got a question, like, to what extent is this still an RPG? Like, every AAA action game has RPG elements at this point. Like, it's maybe barely more RPG than that. And I'm not saying that not being RPG makes it bad. It's a good battle system, but I still wish it was more you know, menu based. You know?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You know, I don't know if that game is going to end up being Final Fantasy 16 or not. But I would, more than anything, like to see Final Fantasy embrace, you know, a more at least slightly more traditional feel. Like it, you know, even to the extent that 13 is.
Ooh, did I get him?
So
I did.
But I'll play it no matter what. I saw there was a $2 donation from Tyler Laughlin. Thank you. Are you guys planning to review the Poly Mega? We'd love to. It just depends on if we're able to get our hands on one. But I mean, obviously that thing's going to be a big deal, and if we don't review it, people are going to be asking about it indefinitely.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea. Like, I'm hoping that it comes out at a time where we can cover it in a like right away. Obviously, like right away, and all hands on deck.
We'd really like to. I mean, it seems like it's got
One thing I'm like
fun.
really excited for is when you finish Analog Frontiers is us both like writing scripts at the same time together. Because
Yes.
I've had such a hard time like writing this other script just because
Well, I don't know. I thought you were doing pretty good with it.
I was doing good, but then I rewrite things a lot. You know, I like very rarely get my thoughts out like in the first pass or first or second pass. And
Right.
then
But
I
haven't
come
you
up
been
with
like
ways-
recording as you go?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
editing as you go?
Yes, and like the recording as I go has been getting. I have some new way of doing things in terms of I can record and record directly to my timeline now. So if I have like a change I need to make, then it's easy to do it. I thought that for sure there would be a secret
Daniel
up here.
F is saying, "Try. I don't think FF will ever go back to turn-based traditional JRPG as companies and people believe it is an outdated concept." I mean, it's interesting. I mean, because obviously it seems to me that they are positioning Bravely Default. Like now that like there was Bravely Second, which was a direct sequel to the first game, but now Bravely Default 2 is like very much like Final Fantasy used to be, where it's like it's new world, new characters, no connection.
Yeah, but I mean, in a
the
way,
previous-
it's like maybe they're thinking like, oh, that's what Dragon Quest does.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, but Bravely Default, like from a gameplay perspective, is like literally Final Fantasy V.
Oh, okay,
Like it's job system out to wazoo.
right.
And I'm sure that Bravely Second is not going to be much different. There's clearly a job system in it because it has a demo. I tried the demo briefly. Like it seems to me that that's like, okay, you want to play old school Final Fantasy, play Bravely Default, but it's not going to cost us as much to make as Final Fantasy.
Right.
You know, and with Dragon Quest, I guess Dragon Quest is their like
Jeez, this is
big marquee, like super traditional. But I really got to question if like, is that really accurate that Final Fantasy wouldn't be worth the budget that it takes if it were like at least somewhat more traditional? I mean, I'm not asking for it to go to, you know, I'm not asking for us to go back to the PS1 days or even.
But I
Final
mean, can you
Fantasy
imagine
10?
playing a PS5, like Final Fantasy 16, that like plays like a PS1 game? Like, plays
I would
like
frickin' love it.
there's something about it, about that simplicity. You know, I was just thinking about it when I was playing Breath of Fire today. I was like, oh, this just seems like nice, would be fun to play right now.
I would love it. Like I would love it to have all the bells and whistles. You know, be the best looking game you ever saw, the craziest cinematics and everything. But it just plays like a PS1 game. Give it to me. Just give it to me.
It's what you crave.
Love it. But I mean, that's not to say anything bad about all the. I mean, I love the experimentation the series does. I mean, that's what defines
Yeah.
it. But I
geez.
wish that Final Fantasy 15's, you know, foray into like full on action territory would just be a one-off, you know?
Yeah.
You know, but the system is the game is very welcome to have its different system and things. That's fine. But I want to be an RPG at heart. And I'm not sure if 15 and even 7 Remake, like, I kind of question if that's really what it is still. Like 7 Remake is an RPG, but it straddles the line very close.
Yes. Well, I mean, when you think about it, every game is an RPG these days.
I mean that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, so
Final Fantasy VII Remake is exactly as much of an RPG as every other game that's released.
But
Sunny Rooster. Ooh, I just like fell into the lava. With liquid hot magma.
I think I said before that whenever you say falling in the lava, or you know, when you're playing a game, I always think of Beetle Adventure Racing. When you fall into lava in that game, the announcer voice goes, "Hot lava."
It's funny. It's is there a
Such
voice
a good
sample out
game.
there of it?
Maybe.
I'm sure there is.
There gotta be. He also frequently says groovy. Such a good game. Yeah, Dragon Quest obviously has remained very traditional. And, you know, I mean, you gotta wonder, like, are they increasing or decreasing their potential audience by making these games more action-oriented? Because, you know, there's a lot of people who only play RPGs because they aren't comfortable with action elements in games, you know?
Right.
And in some ways, I would think that would be the larger audience. But
Well,
it
I
ge-
mean,
it-
in the 3-hour video that Tim Rogers did, that he is convinced that the people who made Final Fantasy VII really wanted to make an action game. They wanted to. He's convinced they wanted to make Gears of War, and they couldn't because they are trapped by the. Ooh, we just fucking lava. They are trapped by the fact that they have to have this RPG stuff in it. Because that's it has to have because it's Final Fantasy. It has to have the Final Fantasy-ness to it. But really, they just wanted to make Gears of War.
Gears of War. I think that's the most hilarious comparison. But somehow, even though it's not Gears of War, I understand what he's saying.
This guy is crazy right now. He's gonna kill me, but
Like everyone, like, is there a story reason for everyone becoming like this, like, red meaty thing?
yeah, basically.
Like, is there a reason for it?
I don't know. This guy fell in the water, or not in the water, in the lava.
Yeah, but like, why that like hockey guy?
Because he was like injected with steroids or.
Okay, well,
With,
this guy
with
probably
the
was
venom.
too, and then going in the lava activated.
And this guy is based on Elvis. The way he's talking.
Is this the final boss of this area?
No, there's one more after this.
Yeah, who knows what that game will turn out to be. I mean, putting project in front of a game's name is very risky.
Yes.
Will we ever see it again?
Here he goes. I love that he falls in it though. And he's like, my hands are all rubbery.
Yeah, man, that Ratchet and Clank was,
Looks really good.
yeah. Like, I hope that's a launch.
He's like, where's my face? Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh.
Jeez, come on. No, I killed myself on purpose there. See, I mean, I can't avoid him down there. See, I think he gets... I don't know if it's just like a placebo or I'm just getting better, but I feel like the more you die on a boss, like it gradually gets easier and easier.
Some games do that.
But it's like kind of a hidden thing. But that seems to go against like the style of game that it's trying to be.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just getting better.
Trails in the Sky did that.
Yeah, well that was an option though.
Was it an option?
Yes. You can every time you die, you can choose to lower it a little bit.
Like, in some ways that kind of ruined the game for me though, because like normally I would be...
See, I like that. I like that.
See, normally I would be like very hard lined, like, oh, I don't want. But like, I didn't really feel that into the game's battle system. Like, it was okay. I didn't love it. I wasn't that interested in getting good at it. Like being well leveled or anything. And like by the end of the game, I was feeling very done with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so like
That's why I don't
like,
know if you should play the other ones.
Huh?
That's why you shouldn't. I don't know if you should bother with. Come on, I picked it.
Well, is Cold Steel's a totally different battle system, right?
Yes.
Like second story and the third one. Have you played them?
The second chapter or SC.
Yeah.
I haven't. No.
But I assume they have the same battle system.
Yes. I'm gonna try to save some of my machine gun bullets.
But yeah, I remember just feeling really done with it. I remember like the last dungeon, I just like completely rushed through it. I don't think I fought anything because I'm just like, I can just like die on the final boss until he's so easy, you know?
Yeah.
I think I died on like 5. I think like the difficulty got reduced like 5 times. I just did not care at that point. Like, I remember, I mean, I liked the presentation and the characters had a lot of personality and the soundtrack was good. I mean, it's Falcon, right? But like, I mean, I liked the ideas behind the battle system, but I just like, I completely lost interest in how it played. And it ended on like a crazy cliffhanger, so like I wanted to continue the series, but of course it was years until SC even came out.
Mm-hmm.
And did it even get any form of physical at all?
No.
At least not the English version.
Right. Nope, because it came on 2 UMDs.
Really?
Yeah.
Are there any dual UMDs in the US?
Nope, that was the only one. That would have been the only one.
Oh, we got $5 from Colin Behrens. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying, I just beat the first 3 Trails games in the past month, and the difficulty lowering for bosses is absolutely not optional.
Really?
For bosses.
Huh. I thought that for some reason I thought you could choose. Maybe that's in
Regular
Trails of
encounters?
Cold Steel. You can choose to lower it, and you don't have to.
Now, when he says first 3 Trails games, like there's actually still some in the Trails in the Sky storyline that still haven't been translated. Is that right?
No, they've all been translated. No,
Are there 4?
there's 3.
Okay.
And there's 3 in the second trilogy that is not, none of them have been localized. And
Wait, what second trilogy?
there's a second trilogy that is only in Japan. It's like the Crossbell trilogy. Takes place like in the country of Crossbell. And
is Estelle still the main character in those?
No. But there's characters like they all have like new main characters, but characters from other ones show up.
Oh, Estelle's not the main character in SC?
No, she isn't in SC, but I'm saying in Crossbell, the Crossbell games, which is like another. It was just like a second trilogy of games, and then after that is the Trails of Cold Steel is Erebonia, but there's like characters show up.
Are there characters from Trails in?
Yeah, and yes, like Oliver.
Oh yeah,
is in it. But yeah, I'm sure that they'll play bigger roles too. And
I mean, he was from Arab, right?
Yes. I don't know if this is the way. Oh, it's this gun.
Special delivery.
This gun again.
Yeah, that's right. Trails and Legacy of the Wizard and Xanadu are in some roundabout way
right. Connected. Oh yeah. I guess Crossbell Arc hasn't been translated, but it is. They've been okay. So 2 games have been fan translated. Okay.
What system do they?
That's PC.
Just PC.
Well, the translated ones are on PC. But I bet it's like PS3. I'm guessing. I mean, Trails in the Sky got PS3 releases too.
In Japan.
Yeah.
Or here.
But I don't really know if they benefit at all because due to their style.
Yeah, I mean those. I can't remember if I ever even tried my copy of Ys Origin on PS4 yet. Is it like blurry looking?
No, Ys Origin is looks great.
Well, then it probably looks similar then, because isn't it the same engine?
Yeah, I mean it looks similar to that, I'm sure.
Like isn't like Ark of Napishtim, Ys Origin, and Oath and Felghana and Trails in the Sky, aren't they all the same engine?
It's like they're all very similar. I don't know if Trails in the Sky uses the same engine, but I guess I could imagine that.
It has a very similar graphical style.
Right.
Like it looks, the way that the pieces of the world are put together and the character sprites are laid in it looks very, very similar.
Whew. I'm just like rushing for these checkpoints because it's like kind of intense.
How long is, like, how many games are Cold Steel?
There's 4. So that's why it's kind of odd is that this one was 4 because usually the arcs have been
But 4 is not out here.
No, but it has been announced.
Okay.
And I guess 4 is extremely long. And
like
a lot of people say that it's like wholly unnecessary.
Well, how long is it?
I don't know. I heard it was like, I mean, all of them I guess are like 80 hours. Like the first one took me 80 hours and I didn't even do anything extra.
I mean, that's not that surprising in an RPG, especially one that takes after Persona, you know?
Yeah. Oh, right now.
What the hell just happened?
There we go.
Oh, Daddy Mike.
You know, I tried the Cold Steel 2 or 3 or whatever demos on both Switch and
Yeah, you're saying that it looks...
PS4. Yeah, the Switch version, like, the resolution is real. But
That's why I rushed and
like,
got the PS3 or PS4 version before it disappeared.
But something that kind of, you know, I got the first game on PS3, but I still haven't played through it. Like, something from those demos that kind of made me, like, maybe pause about, like, really investing in the series was, like, the area that you start off in that demo is just, like, really boring. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's very open and, like, you're just, like, it just feels like this open space on this, like, you know, fortress wall or something. It's just, it's very flat and there's like no, there's just no detail or no extra stuff there. Like, you just, I don't know, it just feels like there's not a lot going on in that environment, but maybe it's wrong to judge the game on that, but it just sort of felt lifeless.
What's happening in the background?
I'd like to give the series a chance. Cold Steel series a chance. But it feels like a huge commitment, you know?
Yes.
Because, like, there's definitely no point in even playing it if you're not going to play all of it, you know?
Basically.
That's how I feel. Because it sounds, I mean, you said that one ends on a crazy cliffhanger too, right?
Yeah, it's like, it's kind of out of nowhere. In a good way, though.
Well, I mean, Trails in the Skies cliffhanger was out of nowhere too.
Right.
Colin Barron's donated $5 again. Thank you. Saying I drunkenly bought all of the Trails of Cold Steel games on PS4 because of Coury last week.
Is it because you
were worried about them becoming rare? You're kind of making me think on it too. Like, I don't know. Like, I used to, like, there was a period of time where, like, any RPG that I was, like, vaguely interested in, especially if it was, like, from a small publisher like XC or something, like, I would buy pretty quickly. Because you know, I was really afraid it would become rare. But sometimes they did it. Sometimes they didn't.
Did I get him? Yeah.
Really?
That was easier than I expected.
Yeah, he was easier than some of the most recent bosses. So that clears that whole area now.
Right.
But there's a lot to this game.
Yeah, I mean, the levels aren't very long.
But
see, is it
there
going to be her?
are a lot of them.
Excellent work.
So it says here.
However, while you attending to business, it seems a heavy outfit downtown has been growing at an alarming rate. By our projections, their numbers and territory will soon be too great for local law enforcement.
See, I bet there's going to be one hidden area that's going to be her.
They have bribed off
Yeah.
several
I mean, it's already after midnight, so I don't think it's worth
No, yeah,
starting.
I'm not going to start another thing. I do like that he has that floppy drive in his car.
They answer their self-proclaimed
Oh yeah,
the
look at that.
Shogun. They
That's
must
like the
be
big
shut
size
down.
too.
Yeah, it's
Pull
like the
plug on their
5-inch or
little
whatever it is.
for good.
Sure. I hope
Like
you
those are the real
understand,
floppy
little
ones.
rabbit.
Those are the
This
real
matter,
floppy
I'm
drives.
sending over the
It's a
details
real
on my
floppy
device.
drive.
A real hot dog.
The Duddleson twins.
Don't
The Duddleson
underestimate
twins?
The
SWAT.
Dudesons.
They are
The
extremely
Dudsons.
armed with the latest
Oh, yeah,
tech.
5.25 inch.
My child, teach them a proper lesson.
Thank you.
Oh, I'll teach him all right. One lesson on old school ass kicking coming up.
Yeah, we're backing out. I'll go back to the main menu. See what my percentage is. What it says here.
Wyjick just popped in the chat to say hello, Coury and Marc, but we're wrapping up.
We are. Oh, see, it says
Sadly.
only 45%. So I'm wondering. I think each level has multiple medals you can get.
Is there is there a CRT filter?
Yes. It does not look
'Cause
good.
Huh?
It does not look good.
No. Is that what you had on during the pre-stream?
No. This is what it looks
Oh,
like. though.
oh, that was an overlay that you added in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like shows on the screen. Like, I mean, it just is how I have the scene set up in OBS. Yeah, I mean, this is the CRT's is not very authentic.
Are the scan lines uneven, or I can't even? Yeah, there are.
They're big. They're too big for one, and they're all see through.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like kind of soften things a little bit. But it's not great.
Someone just needs to make like the ultimate CRT plugin that like
Everybody can use. I mean,
that
honestly,
like is absolutely perfect and has a range of like quality and stuff, and you can use it with, just use it on any game made in Unity or
yes. Well, I
Game
think
Maker
that
or, whatever these games are made in.
I would say that Sonic Mania has the best CRT plugin or the best CRT overlay I've ever seen.
Is good.
So
Is good.
I think that's probably that would be the number one choice. If they want to sell that, they should. Anyways, I think that is going to do it. Let me get back in the position of the camera. Thanks everybody for hanging out. And if you like Huntdown, you should check it out. I don't know how much it is. I'm guessing it's probably $14.99 or $19.99.
I'll definitely grab it when
it
it
inevitably
goes physical.
Yes, I will too. Anyways, thanks everybody who donated and hung out. It was a lot of fun. And we will look for the episode. I'm hoping by Wednesday. I'm ready to just get it done, and that's going to be on the Sharp Scale plugin for the PS TV
And Vita.
and yes, and Vita.
Go buy your PS TV before the episode comes out.
Yeah, I mean it looks
a little expensive.
It looks kind of crazy at times with if you put it in 4 or 1080i, even though it's interlaced, it looks so good when it just fills the entire screen. It's kind of amazing. Anyways, we'll see you soon. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Good night.